This week's news from the tubes on F5 Live is proudly powered by Malwarebytes. Whether you use a PC, a Mac, or a mobile device, Malwarebytes Premium is the company's strongest protection ever. It fights threats that traditional antivirus software can't stop. It actively blocks threats like worms, rogues, dialers, spyware, exploits, bots, and a whole lot more. It allows you to use your computer and mobile devices with confidence and peace of mind. To learn more, they get a special price right now. You can go to f5live.tv/malwarebytes. And we are going to stay on that topic right now because an interesting exploit, rogue, Trojan, however you want to define this particular one, was revealed to the public this week, as most of the ones that we have talked about over the last couple of years have been. It is cryptocurrency based, and this one is on two fronts. The first one is the malicious one, and the one that kind of matters. It is a clipboard hijacker. Now, clipboard hijackers are not new. They've been around for decades. Traditionally, what they do is they watch your clipboard for things that look like nonsense, which generally mean passwords, and then send them off to a third-party server or store them locally to send when you're online if you happen to not be online at the time. This one works differently, though, because this one is doing clipboard injection. What it's looking for is cryptocurrency wallet addresses. And so the primary reason why you would have a cryptocurrency wallet address in your clipboard is because you're about to send that wallet money. And so what happens is you copy the wallet address, you go over to your other thing, you paste the wallet address. In that interim, this Clipminer software has said, hey, that's a Bitcoin wallet address. And it goes through its more than 4,000 wallet addresses that all belong to these scammers. It finds one that starts with and ends with numbers that are the same or similar to the one in your clipboard, and it replaces it. So by the time you get to the other thing, you paste the wallet address, you hit send, the money hasn't gone to the person you intended, it goes to these people instead. Clever, though diabolical. They have, from what a couple of security researchers have determined based on flows in and out of the wallets and what they contained at the time that the report was written, they had stolen at least $1.7 million worth of cryptocurrency from unsuspecting people who were just trying to paste a wallet address into a thing. Definitely not great. The other aspect of it is certainly minor in comparison, and that was an unfortunate pun that I apologize for. It runs a crypto miner in the background. That pun was not intended. So I, drive by and install crypto miners are nothing new. We've talked about them for years. I ran an experiment a couple of years ago. God, under the last cast of the show is when I did this, so that aged it out pretty good. So they've been around for a long time. Drive-bys on JavaScript on websites or things that install. YouTube ads were doing it for a while. Yeah, that's nothing new, and it's not terribly harmful in the long run. Your resources might be used, your consumption might go up a little bit, and it's so common that even Norton had one built into a Norton product at one point. So, but this clipboard thing is a real problem.
That's really insidious. Well, I guess this points to two things. One, obviously, make sure when you paste something, it is check it over against the original. Although most people wouldn't think to do that for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Two, this points to a problem with paying people via Bitcoin, which is that there's no security in the transaction, right? I mean, if this, for example, happened with a credit card transaction, you might have some recourse.
Yeah.
You might
You'd be able to
you
call
might
Visa or
be
MasterCard or whoever and say, hey, this is what happened. They might be able to void the transaction, since nothing happens on demand when it comes to credit cards, partially for this reason.
right,
Plus, it's a lot of that's insured. Cryptocurrency is
right.
not.
So right, so that's why this type of scam, like that's why maybe it's not the best thing to pay people with, because you don't have that type of security in your cryptocurrency. I mean, I guess you have more privacy and all of that, and it's its own marketplace, but there's a lot of scams out there because in some ways it's the Wild West and there
Yeah.
aren't these type of protections that you get with other forms of payment.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked a couple of months ago about a dating site cryptocurrency scam that is still going around. I've been running experiments lately to see if it's still happening. It's absolutely still happening, and we're trying to keep the list of websites updated on that because there are so many. In fact, over the last couple of years, I've got PR emails dating back to 2019 that showed that Americans are losing north of $1 billion per year to cryptocurrency scams. That's a huge industry, and there's nothing
Yeah,
you can do
that
about it. Once it happens, it happens. That's it.
wow. Well, yeah, I mean that's why. Also, we've seen some theft going on with NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Although, you know, I'm sorry, I still think NFTs are a complete waste of money. Uh, if anybody thinks that NFTs are worth their time, there's a video I would love to invite you to watch from one of my favorite YouTube channels called Legal Eagle, where it's a lawyer who sort of evaluates different things and talks about all of the legal problems with NFTs because they're
Mm-hmm.
not really there's no standard for what an NFT actually represents. So therefore, what your NFT is worth is kind of
Yeah.
there's no real legal enforcement of it. But whatever. Yeah, this is. I mean, uh, I should strongly suggest people take their cryptocurrency and turn it into some other type of currency before they start paying for things with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's in the blockchain world, like you said, that's cryptocurrency and NFTs. There's so many easy scams to get people. I mean, you've got in the NFT world, you've got Patton Oswalt, who found out that somebody was selling his stand up as an NFT without his knowledge. And on the other hand, you've got Seth Green, who somehow had, I don't know, one of the bored apes or I don't know, something stolen from him that he was using as part of a show, a web show. I don't know. I didn't quite follow it. I know it was somehow involved, and he technically doesn't have the rights to it anymore, and therefore can't make the show. I mean, and those are just two celebrities on either end of the scam stuff there. With cryptocurrency, you've got a lot of scams. You've got phishing schemes. You've got, which is how I think the Seth Green thing worked, because I think that was part of that social media phishing thing. You've got this thing, right, where you're just getting your wallet addresses replaced. There's so much going on. It's definitely, like you said, the Wild West. Now, in fairness, the way that this Clipminer is being distributed is through cracked and pirated software. So the bad actors are generally only targeting bad actors. However, you know, it's a little different, right? I guess these guys are paying for their software anyway, just not in the way they intended. But yeah, It's not great. This is the second one that's been like this, and current theory is that it's likely the same people after organizations like Malwarebytes, who was involved in the last one, recognized the Trojan file for CryptoCube in early 2021. It disappeared, and Clipminer showed up seemingly in its place, and it's a very similar software. So it's probably the same people. This one's now been identified, so expect a new name to show up, possibly a new distribution method. So always keep an eye on what's happening when you're online. I think that's always our point in these topics. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.